Hello there, sending ravens. How's everybody doing? As promised, it's a little late, I know, but I'm going to do this reading. It's kind of a complex reading on Justin Trudeau. Now, I'm not getting into politics or anything, so don't worry. It's just the times, and so many important things are happening. There's so many fears, and I'll just be blunt. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, do your homework, okay? There's just so many things going on that it appears that there is an under sort of current of what we're going to call a war between, it's a political sort of, or spiritual or both war. And I don't mean religious spiritual. I mean spiritual in a higher vibration. Okay, I'm not talking about religions here. Okay, there's a war going on between sort of what feels like the globalist agenda and sort of shadow, let's call it shadow government, and sort of this ruling power that's like feels like it's trying to take all our rights away. Oh, boom! Candle went out as soon as I said that. And just repress humans and even like cut down the population. It feels like, a kind of agenda that would set upon the world, the entire world, something that is being called a pandemic. We're going to call it a plandemic, right? So go to my scary flu situation readings if you don't know what I'm talking about, because I'm not going to go over that again. And if you don't believe that this supposed pandemic was somehow released upon us and is certainly being manipulated for the gain of huge billionaires like Bill Gates and, the World Health Organization in cahoots with Bill Gates, and that really it's about billionaires getting richer. Honestly, you might be on the wrong channel. Yeah, because I totally, completely believe that. So, yeah, I could be offensive from here on in, so be forewarned. Okay, and don't argue with me about it in the comments, because I'll take your comment off, because I'm not going to argue about that. Okay, it's so obvious that, yeah, it's too obvious for me to argue about. Okay, so let's have a look at Justin Trudeau. Kind of what side is he on? Is he on the side of Canadians? A lot of Canadians dislike him. Some people want to know, is his father, who in fact, is presented to be his father, which is Pierre Elliott Trudeau. And if you don't know who he was, oh, you got to look it up, right? And go to not just mainstream media ideas of who he was, because Pierre Elliott Trudeau, absolutely so obvious, was a gay man married to a woman as a front, flamboyantly gay man, okay, and or at least dual sexually, so bisexual for sure, and was absolutely, a brilliant manipulator, he's a very intelligent man, and incredibly powerful, and had lots of powerful elitist friends, and liked to globetrot with elitists. And yeah, incredible story around Pierre Elliott Trudeau and how he completely mesmerized, they called it Trudeau-mania, even the whole world, maybe put Canada on the map politically a little bit. So there was some good that he did. I'm sure some people are going to chime in and tell me how much good he did. But I think he literally raped and pillaged the entire country, financially and lots of other ways. And his favorite people were, Banana Republic rulers. And the more cruel they were to their people, the more he seemed to like them. So yeah, he was totally a globalist, elitist, you better believe it, in his day. Okay, and one of his favorite people was, he would go and visit Fidel Castro. And not that I don't know that much about him other than what everybody else kind of were told about him, Fidel Castro. But they used to spend time with Fidel Castro, and there's even a picture of, and if I'm saying his name wrong, I'm sorry, right? I'm sorry about that. I tend to do that. But Fidel Castro, there was a picture of him carrying Justin Trudeau. I believe he was holding him. And Pierre Trudeau's wife was looking on, you know, with such loving, like, yeah, to me, the picture says 1,000 words, and it says that Justin Trudeau may well be the son of Fidel Castro, and it was much rumored, okay, because likely none of those children were, you know, they might have Pierre Elliott Trudeau's possibly DNA. You know, there could have been surrogates involved, and or she was, you know, did the old artificial insemination, but a lot of people don't believe they were, you know, in a regular sort of marriage. It was like a cover-up. So that's just the rumors, and if you guys want to argue with me about it, don't waste your time too much, because I'm not going to argue about it. Yeah. My cards tell me that too about Pierre Elliott Trudeau. So yeah, I'm not going to argue about it. Okay, so let's have a look at, is Justin Trudeau who he's presented to be, which is the father being Pierre Elliott Trudeau. So is Pierre Elliott Trudeau the father of Justin Trudeau? So right off the bat, I'm going to say no. So we've got, this is Pierre Elliott's card. That's not a father card, okay? No, he wasn't. And Justin Trudeau was from a love affair. So Justin Trudeau, so there you have it. Fidel Castro is clearly Justin Trudeau's father. Wow. Whew. I'd never done a reading on that. You just saw it. That's my first reading ever on the subject. I mean, it's largely been, you know, thrown around, that idea, but oh, it's true, all right. I don't think Pierre Elliott Trudeau in a natural way fathered any children. Okay, so I'll just say it like that. So, whoa, not with that hermit card. That's not naturally fathering it. Certainly not Justin Trudeau. He didn't naturally father Justin Trudeau. Now, here we have the King of Wands in the middle. But he was, Justin Trudeau looks like he really looked up to his father in a lot of ways, even though they had their hardships. It looks like they had a lot of hardship between them. But in a way, he idolized his dad, it looks like, or who he thought that was his dad, and maybe presented as his dad. He idolized Pierre Elliott, it looks like. But there was a lot of angst between them. It feels like he disappointed, or felt like he disappointed Pierre Elliott Trudeau a lot. Like, this looks like he was always trying to please him and always trying to get him to warm up, because, you know, he likely wanted this father figure and wanted to be treated, you know, like father is proud of his son, but he wasn't getting that. So that's interesting. It also appears that Justin Trudeau could also be bisexual, actually, with that lovers. That could be liking both men and women. And there's nothing wrong with that, you know, nothing wrong with that. But in Pierre Elliott Trudeau's case, it was a misuse of trust, because, you know, he married, and like everything was a facade. So if you're honest about it, you know, great, but not if your whole life's just a big lie, right? So that's unfortunate. Okay, so we've got this Page of Pentacles in the past. Page of Pentacles. I think Justin knew he wasn't his father's son at some point. I'm thinking around 12 or 13. He knew he wasn't somehow. And that was also a problem to his self-esteem, it looks like. I don't know how he would have found out, but it looks like he knew. Okay, let's pull some other personality cards here. So we've got... Nine of Cups. Yeah, he really wanted his father to notice him, it looks like. He really did. But his father's passed on now, but he never showed any emotion, it looks like, or noticed him, really. Not enough, anyway. Justin was so wishing his father would notice him. Wow. Okay, well, everybody's got those kind of things in their well, not everybody, but most of us got some crazy things in the closet, right? So that's question number one that was really big. Now let's look at, and I've already shuffled the question into that one. That's about the global agenda, the agenda around elite globalists. Where does Justin Trudeau fit in that scheme? Is he a globalist? Is he a shadow government supporter, or is he actually, you know, politically who he presents? Okay. Okay, so we've got the King of Wands. Oh, he's a big social climber, it looks like. He really wants to be, you know, I mean, trying to follow in the footsteps of Pierre Elliott Trudeau would be really hard, I think, as a young man, looking up to your father like that, or who you thought was your father, and trying to, you know, live up to some of the, you know, the ways he was seen in the world by some people. Lots of us saw through him. But a lot of people idolized Pierre Elliott Trudeau. Just watch some documents on him. Fascinating. Yeah, my mom was crazy about him, right? Everybody thought he was such a big sex symbol. And yeah, it's like, really? Just look at what he wore. It was obvious that he didn't really dig women. Okay, so what do we got here? We've got the Queen of Pentacles and the King of Wands. Well, if he is globalist agenda, he's trying to be subtle about it. He's trying to be subtle. And this card tells me he may not be entirely sure where he stands, because that Four of Pentacles is not sure. There's a carefulness to it, but it's very intriguing to him. It's very intriguing. King of Wands. And somebody is working really hard on him. Somebody, a man, a really famous man, and a very wealthy man, is working very hard with his charms and his persuasiveness, and likely a fire sign man or a very direct man with a lot of clout. Yeah, regularly keeps in touch with Justin Trudeau, trying to woo him. And this person feels very clearly on the elitist and or globalist sort of world government agenda kind of personality there. Yeah, they're working on it. They're working on it, and they're working on him. And he's been swung over here, even in the last 4, that feels like years in this case. There's a 4 to a 6 there, and sometimes it's months and sometimes it's years. They've been working on him for a really long time, and he's really come over. And yeah, he's had a lot of pressure, it looks like, but in a way he's being wooed by this very, very powerful person or group. Could be a group. Oh boy. So we've got the Ace of Cups and the Ace of Swords. Yeah, they're offering him a position. They're offering him a position. He's got this offer that he's thinking about, and he goes back and forth a little bit. So I wonder what his birth sign is, because he's acting a little bit, and these cards are like he feels very Libran. I wonder if he's a Libran. I can't remember actually if I ever knew what his birth sign was. So if somebody knows, please let me know. Is he a Libran? Okay, because he keeps going back and forth. He's not 100% on the world government, but he's being wooed and swung over. He's like 80% though, or he's soon to be 80%. He's definitely moving over here. Okay. So we've got 5 and 2. He feels really frustrated right now. There's a lot of frustration around him. He's been, some big upsets happened in his life. Wow, and he's very emotionally disappointed. Okay, he's been called to judgment, it looks like. Now, there's a lot of people saying all these people have ankle bracelets on, and there's secret tribunals going on and all that kind of stuff. I don't know if that doesn't look severe enough for that, but it does look like he's been called out on something. And he's quite disappointed that he's been called on this something, whatever it is. So he may have some information about what other people have on him. And he's very stressed out about it. Somebody dropped him some kind of intelligence or information on what they have on him. And it has to do with spending monies, activities around what he's been spending money on, or Canadians' money on. I don't know. It feels like it's the way he's spending money here. And some hedonistic behaviors as well with this guy, right? And he's very stressed out about it. So he may be being called out, and he's somewhat detained, but I don't know about, like, he's detained in a way, well, I mean, the global situation could be detaining him. But I don't get he's imprisoned. I'm not necessarily getting that. I think there's things going on that, of course, he can't tell anybody about. But he can come and go, it looks like. So he's not entirely imprisoned or anything like that. But he could be being called out on things. Wow, that's interesting. The world. He may make a really big change. I wonder if he's being given the opportunity to flip, right, from the globalist agenda to another agenda. I feel like he's trying to decide what's in his best interest, and he still has a choice. And he's spending time deeply introspective, trying to figure out what he should do. So he's trying to save his ass, is what it looks like, to say it a little less nicely. Wow. So he certainly lends himself towards the globalist agenda of late. He's gotten some kind of information handed to him, and the information lays out what they have on him, whoever they is. And so he's being called out for some of his activities and strong-armed here, and he's still trying to decide. He hasn't decided what he's doing. So he hasn't decided to really sit on one side or the other. His family looks like all that family life that he portrays is a big facade. It's an incredibly dysfunctional family, actually. And he's got really different taste as far as lovers goes, other than his partner and how his big family life he portrays. This is a bit, that card's a lot, like it's right next to this dysfunctional card. So some kind of sexual deviance there that I don't think his wife would appreciate or whatever. Yeah, so his big happy marriage thing, that's a facade. Wow. Okay, well, that was interesting. That went down some rabbit holes. Okay, woo. Let's just move these over. It's hard to do this with one hand. Don't worry, I'm getting my my tripods coming and my light. Okay, now let's look at this last one here. The last look is we're trying to understand, are we going to be required as Canadians to get the vaccine? Like, is it going to be a requirement for this scary flu? So they're thinking about it. He's thinking about it. Is his government going to insist? Well, he doesn't know for sure yet, though. That's two of swords. So there's still time. Write your people in government power. Write to your local people. Write directly to the federal government. Start petitions against it. Like, start a social media outcry that you don't want that. If you don't, some people do want a vaccine. I say I wouldn't let any vaccine that's been rushed. And it's so dubious. The whole situation is so dubious. I wouldn't go near a vaccine that had anything to do with, especially the World Health Organization and or Bill Gates or any of those elitist, very scary people. I wouldn't go near it, but that's just me. Okay, so we've got the Three of Pentacles up at the top. So he's certainly getting a lot of pressure. I mean, he hasn't decided. 2 twos says he hasn't decided. He's sitting on the fence. We've got this. He's gone away to think about it. So he's taking a lot of alone time. And we saw that with the Hermit as well. He's thinking about, he's doing a lot of introspection. Isn't that interesting? There's still a lot we as Canadians, so Canadians that are watching, and maybe this will be true for everybody here, maybe everybody's government's going to be in this position. There's still a lot we can do to move away from it. We can talk about it being more careful. We can talk about understanding the true situation that actually happened during this so-called, I'm going to say, pandemic. You know, there's so many things we need to discover, and we can't just be rushed into this, right? And this looks like he's actually, Justin Trudeau is not going to be rushed into it. He is considering it, and it may not go ahead. Not with that. The Death card is slowly but surely. We still have time to change it. And the advice is work from all your platforms. Put your energy towards if you want it or don't want it. Make your voice be heard. Right? So I'm not going to shame anyone who does want it. That's your prerogative. But certainly I will keep this in mind too. Keep circulating things. Keep talking to your friends about it. Talk to your people in power in your province. Things like that. Wow, so there's still a lot of things that could change here, and it's not a given that it's going to go ahead. And well, I'm, for one, happy to hear that. We still have time to change this situation. But he doesn't look like people that think he's all in jail or, no, I don't get that. But he's definitely been called on something around his activities. Thank you so much for watching my video, and please like, share, and subscribe, or buy me a coffee. In the link below, there's a link to buy me a coffee. Thank you so much, and I appreciate everybody who's bought me a coffee already. And all that means, buy me a coffee, is a little support to the channel, and I really appreciate it. Bye-bye.